we're going to get right into it. We set the stage, what the matchup is going to be. Rush Warrior opening for Luna and the OTK Demon Hunter for NoHandsGamer. Oh, whew, bookended skulls. Mwah! Obviously, you're not going to keep both of them, but, you know, the second one.
See? Just show TJ this hand.
Oh, nope, he's keeping both of them. Mwah!
Against him. Oh, my goodness.
So this has the chance to go poorly, right? But No Hands, because one of the cards in the middle was keepable and dumpable, right? The Illidari studies. As long as he finds any dumpable card in that open slot there at his mulligan, the double skull keep is just absolutely delicious.
But you've not played this deck enough. It's always Il'gynoth when you do this. Like every time. It's just plop in the middle, Il'gynoth. It's just horrible. Luna has an interesting hand because obviously her job here is basically just to put on pressure as quickly as possible. And all three of these kind of do it, but they're also kind of not enough.
Oh, double jump. Oh, it's so dumpable. Oh, it's just the most dumpable card in the world.
That's why it's called Jubble Dump.
Yeah, it just like it says this card is another card, but it'll move places. That should be what double jump is.
Yeah, well, it jumps out of your hand and then it jumps somewhere else afterwards. Luna looking again to curve this as well as possible. A 3-mana Kargath's pretty good.
It's pressure.
Yeah, and it's early enough to matter, unlike turn 7 Giants.
Oh, just dumped it. Oh,
yeah,
feels so good.
Takes the dump and turns it into a spectral sight.
These old bones just keep moving.
Luna, though, finding the parade leader and setting up a lot of damage on her own now.
Oh, Throatglaive. Okay.
It was kind of needed. There's going to be a lot of damage coming in otherwise.
I mean, also, like, there's going to be a lot of cards coming in to the hand. So he effectively needs to just keep playing cards as he draws them.
Luna's got such a good curve going into this Sword Eater now. Going to be close. Now Alexstrasza might well be like, that's the focal point for her, right? Play that exactly on turn 9 for exact lethal and hope No Hands doesn't kill you by then. That would be the plan that she's working towards.
Oh, and with this hand, No Hands is probably getting there. This is just atrocious. The only issue that I see with No Hands' hand right now is that he can't just roll skull into skull. He has to actually have a full turn of Hearthstone where he's not drawing 3 cards that are discounted by 3.
Kargath. It's a car theme going on here.
You never play around Kurt. I haven't played around Kurt a single day in my life. And that's not going to change.
Demons?
Does that change the play, though?
Demons.
It gets rid of the outcast buff. It's a lot of pressure, though.
It's enough that you've got to worry about, but next turn you're expecting more. That Sword Eater was kept in the mulligan. So No Hands can genuinely, sensibly expect that to be more pressure next turn.
Oh, wait!
My goodness.
Wait! So Philosophy is 1 mana. And that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Alright, so let's count this. Philosophy 1, Il'gynoth 2,
got no spell
Screen
damage.
Blast 3. So there's no spell damage, but there is doubled up. And there is a Chaos Strike for 2 extra damage. No, it's not quite there.
It's not enough, but if he draws spell damage, then we've got to seriously expect him to just win the game next turn.
Yes.
If he draws the +2 at least.
Yep. Because the Philosophy will copy a fully reduced Moarg. It's not a Raging Fell Screamer buff. The No Hands is already quite close. And with a little bit of additional mana, like the ability to set up Aldraki Warblades, right, in the interim, or to have enough mana to also play I-Beam in that chain, we're looking at this to be quite close. Luna, though, setting up some power here. This is a 2-turn lethal setup.
Right, so spell damage needed.
That is spell damage.
Spell damage got. Is that lethal? I think it is.
So it's 2 Moargs and +1 spell damage. Wait, 2 Moargs. Can't get +2 this turn.
Yeah, so it's not enough unless the I-Beam can be moved along, which it can. But it will cost 1. He can't get it to cost 0 because that's not how the card works anymore, right?
Looks like he's going to have to dump... Wait.
Okay.
I only counted 26.
I didn't think he could do it either, but...
You're paying for my discretion.
27 with the hero power.
Luna's not convinced.
Am I wrong?
I thought you were right. I thought you were right.
Now it's 27.
But
okay,
what's she supposed to do about this? Drawing Samurai seems like a good start, but is it enough? Can she do anything here? Or has No Hands just found a really creative Derek Brown play of the week win without actually doing the kill?
I wonder.
I don't see a way out.
Because No Hands has the backup of Aldraki Warblades and Hero Power, which is 3 more damage. Like we're counting normal damage now, even if Luna can clear up some minions.
What now?
Yeah, which Blademaster Warmaul is the play that I spotted that takes off the most. And then it's Luna would still have to attack into a Moarg, and then would not be able to armor up. She would be at 4, and there's Aldraki Warblades to finish the game in hand. Yeah, so she can't fully clear here. Well, can she even draw? Anything? I don't think there's anything.
She can't. She hasn't got time anymore.
Yeah.
And that is terrific play from NoHandsGamer to find that. I think that's absolutely superb. And Luna knows it's over, and she gives it up because the Il'gynoth was going to get it done anyway. And No Hands had me and TJ scratching our heads like, that's 27, that's not 30. Doesn't matter. Turns out
doesn't matter.
In Hearthstone, you put minions on the board and you hit your opponent with them, and that does damage. And that was enough. 1-0. Yeah. Huge win for No Hands.
Yeah, I mean, No Hands is just sitting there like, how do I clear this board? Whoops! Accidentally dealt 27 points of damage to my opponent. That's essentially what it felt like. Yeah, putting enough power on the board can sometimes be enough, and that's a great recognition from No Hands, because if he uses like all of these spell damage things to clear and heal up, then he's giving up the combo pieces and is probably not winning that game anyway, because he has to restart from scratch, or maybe maybe still winning the game, but this is almost a guarantee, all things considered. Even though it's not lethal, he knows that it's essentially a guaranteed lethal setup. I think in that situation, it would have had to been I actually don't think there was a way, because she hadn't played Stage Dive, and she had not played Conditioning, right? So it would have to have been
second Parade Leader might have got there. Might not have been enough stuff. Yeah, Parade Leader into Blade Master might have got there.
Yeah, it would have to have been a second parade leader stage dive into a reduced cost, into the double buffed Samuro, right? That was the only way.
And he took that chance, strangely enough. But that's fantastic. Like, the recognition there, the reason I think it's so good, as opposed to just me saying things because I'm a caster, is that is not something you normally recognise. You might do that against Hunter, where you know they've got no way of dealing with that board. But against a Rush Warrior, where you've got to be really confident in yourself, especially when you lost to that deck 3-0 last week, you've got to be really confident in yourself that that board isn't getting cleared against a Rush deck. That shows a lot of foresight or vision of your opponent's hand. And it's not surprised, No Hands invented that deck, so he's going to know what's in the hand. But yeah, really well worked out.
Yeah. Well, he invented a very early version of the deck.
Sure, but I like to, do some hyperbole from time to time.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, No Hands gets to stay on the OTK Demon Hunter. That is his reward. That was the bounty. Yeah, that was on turn 5, by the way. That's absolutely insane. I would be incredibly
Okay, well. No Hands.
Just ripping it. He's just playing cards right now. That's what he's doing. He's just playing cards.
Yeah. And this is the same problem we saw earlier in the Killing match, where he ended up having to play Cult Neophytes when he didn't want to in a game. Well, Luna's avoiding that. She's going to play the Cult Neophyte, going into those skull turns to buy herself a lot of extra time. If she can actually get things to do in the meantime, which she's kind of struggling for.
Muzzle their magic.
Yeah. Found nothing to do, so ended up having to just play it.
Immolation Aura, I think, too big of a resource to use on just a Cult Neophyte. Pretty much the entirety of Rogue's board states up until Kazakus and Jandis, and even Jandis sometimes, cleared by Immolation Aura. So,
What I want.
yeah.
All right.
The thing, though, that is a bit different compared to some of the other decks is Rogue can just explode the second you clear the board. You can only clear 1 or 2 of the boards, and Rogue is very good at just making another board of big things, of small things, but a lot of damage over and over again, if they're not being particularly challenged with minions, which Demon Hunter doesn't challenge you with minions, apparently, unless you're playing Rush Warrior, when it's all the rage now.
okay. No Hands can... not part ways with the Immolation Aura, if he so chooses. Also wants to dump a card from hand, because may not have that opportunity in the future with Double Skull coming in hot. Alright, so a lot of potential for a big turn here, but mana is the limiting factor.
Yeah.
Could just be Octobot and Brain Freeze? That doesn't sound particularly good.
I wonder.
As soon as it came out of my mouth.
It's quiet.
Field Contact, Brain Freeze, then Shadow Step the Field Contact?
Yeah, and then next turn, because you're saying that mana's the limiting factor, so next turn mana's now not a limiting factor in any real conversation, and now she gets to just go crazy next turn. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right?
It is a key turn, because we're going to be going into turn 6, which is the turn that No Hands really wants to play Skull of Gul'dan. And she's also going to be able to fit in a Cult Neophyte into that round of field contact draws.
Quiet.
Could also double up and go with a Shadow Step. And that's I don't know if I want a 4-mana 4/4, but it does draw a card. I think I'll take this draw first.
Yep.
Just so I can have every excuse to not play a card that puts a 4-mana 4/4 in my hand.
Yeah, she's just shutting down Skull for a turn as well, so if she can run out, I was going to see if she can get quite a decent turn here and then another turn next turn, she'll be in a great spot, but everything just came to a halt here. She doesn't even want a passage.
I grow.
Probably just an Immolation Aura and call it a day.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do here.
No. Get to push 5 damage. Not bad. Both
Relevant.
Cold Neophytes are out of the way, so No Hands doesn't have to worry about that. And Luna shaking her head like, oh, geez. Not really mounting much pressure. No, the Cold Neophytes not really... I mean, yes, that blocked the skull that turn, but it's likely No Hands would have deviated from that. Well, maybe not likely. No, never mind. Not likely. You have Skull on 6 in outcast position, you play Skull on 6 in outcast position, regardless of the circumstances.
Yeah, unless you've got lethal already in your hand somehow from playing the Skull on 5 in outcast position the turn before. Yeah, I think that's about the only range except you just play it. It's the whole deck.
Yep.
Does Evocation ever get you anywhere? I guess it gets you further than not having Evocation.
Yeah. Maybe find some burn or some disruption on a key turn, right? Find a counter spell or Ice Barrier to block the Eldrazi Warblades from being the card that gets the exact lethal damage. I don't know.
Alas, poor warlock.
Okay, that's a card. That's a card.
And that's
all cards.
All 3 are cards.
Has to manage hand size right now, which 2 of those cards replace themselves with other cards.
Grow impatient.
Could start becoming a little awkward for No Hands to get hand space to play that second Skull.
Yep.
But don't think he's particularly worried right now. He can figure that out next turn.
Yep, he's just cleaning up the board. He's got Luna below 24, which means that the most basic of combos are all set up. It's just a key number sort of pretty much every which way you look at it. And so he can afford to just concentrate on not dying until he wants to do that 24.
So many.
Well, Luna does need a board, and her hand is not particularly conducive to that. It's mainly accumulated direct damage now, so she's going to take this opportunity to make some golems. Would she go for a 1, maybe? I being a little bit...
Yeah. Well, no, it's a 5.
Yeah, okay. Spell damage,
These are...
go with the stuff.
Yeah. It's probably got to be spell damage. The only thing that's super relevant.
Choose soon. So many options.
Yeah, she doesn't need cards. She's got secret passages. There's no random enemy minions, so spell damage it is. It's not a thriller, though, is it?
Efficient is sufficient.
Actually,
Initiating overdrive.
I mean, it's a decent amount of burst, right? But it feels like it's coming a little bit too late. Okay, I think that's probably it. Oh, that is certainly it. That is the juice right there.
TJ 2 hours ago. Well, Il'gynoth plus this is 12, plus this is 24, that's 36. TJ an hour later. Yep, well, that's probably it. In fact,
I mean, it's rogue. It always feels like somehow they're missing health.
Yeah, they definitely are. Always.
Yeah, I mean, that was 24 plus 10 because No Hands still had a mana to hero power and then swing with a Chaos Strike Eldrazi Warblades. So there you go, Neil. I counted. It was 34 damage. Boom.
Tricked him.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Counting. Look at that glare he's giving me for that as well. Oh my goodness. Right, we're going to go into the final. He's right, he can't do it. The final potential game of this series, which will be a OTK Demon Hunter mirror. And if No Hands keeps playing as well as he does by getting skulls every single hand doubled up, then he will win this match.
Yes. But there's an equal chance that Luna could also do all of those things. So...
And if she does, then obviously she gets to try and win 3 times with a deck, and obviously the deck's going pretty well in Americas. She would have to get through No Hands and the Priest, right? So she'd have to get through the Paladin and the Mage. And the Mage is hard work. It's tough to beat that Mage.
Yeah. Yep, it is. Especially with No Hands win rate on the deck. Second only to Naugidan. There you go, Naugidan.
Yeah, and Naugidan a little bit sad about how we've cast his Mage games, I think, and he's got a huge win rate with the deck, so who are we to mention it, I guess. Anyway, Luna, she has this deck. It has the cards.
That is correct.
One acrobatics seems to be slightly different. That's about all I can see.
Yep, just a small difference in that slot there, which is, let me take a look, a throw glaive in the list for No Hands. Just a little bit faster draw, harder card to get out of the hand though when you're kind of looking for space to be able to play Skull.
And this one is a little bit like the Druid mirror, except they don't get to see how well each other's doing. Players ignore each other, and one of them does the thing and wins the game.
Yep.
But they do it in secret, unlike the Druids who kind of do it, you know, in public and reveal their cards.
Well,
Luna's in a good spot, but that double spectral sight is probably pretty close to being as good as the skull.
Yeah, except the cards aren't reduced, so it doesn't make things happen any faster.
Right.
Which is the problem. And at this point, a skull draw on the other side of the hand will be pretty hard for No Hands to kind of get going. And speed is essential in the OTK Demon Hunter matchup.
Yep, straight race. No Hands also going to have that problem you were talking about last game, but it's going to be in full view here, where if he plays this one, he's going to have trouble emptying his hand should he pick up a skull. So yeah, actually just going to put a threat down, and it's a threat in the way that not the 3 damage recurring per turn, but it's mana. He doesn't have to spend comboing, and Luna has to now count every single turn. You know, can No Hands do the combo if I leave this up? And next turn she's going to have to get rid of it, which is just irritating for her.
I see.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal for now, though. Whoa. Or maybe it is.
Yeah. No. But anything to force your opponent to have to interact with you at least. It's a little something. Now, Hands trying to work out if there's any break points here, I think. It's very weird because your opponent can usually heal back up at least once or twice anyway, but probably trying to work out one how much do I actually value damage at all in this, as opposed to just mana saving and doing my combo? I think if you can do enough damage, your combo becomes smaller.
This is true. I don't.
Yeah, I don't want to play this card. I just want to.
I mean, like, there's like this weird situation where you could play around like a, or play into a 2-turn lethal or something. I don't know. That's seems ambitious.
Yeah.
That's just assuming Luna's just not gonna do anything, right? Oh man. Okay.
Well, Luna's got Coin Skull next turn, and there's all sorts of possibilities there with a 0-mana Moag of her own, with an opposing Moag that can't remove itself.
Impatient.
Because it counts.
Demons.
Yeah, the Immolation Aura will still leave the Morg on the board, but it does mean it'll get swept up the next turn. But lets him push just a little more damage. No Hands has the pieces, just not the mana to get it done.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on what Luna might do as well, because she can use that Moag herself in some very corner case situations here of this skull. The philosophy won't reduce the cost of the Moag. That's not a natural reduced Moag. That's just a hell-screamed one. She has no Il'gynoth, so we don't have to worry if Luna has lethal right now. She has to worry about it because she might draw the Il'gynoth and want extra time to think about it. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. He
Lied?
can reset the game, yeah. Luna's done the skull thing, etc., etc. No Hands has had nothing going on. Just start again. Try once more. Do you want to play it first?
I mean, but he's actually, his hand's not that.
But when does he play skull? How does he play skull? How does a skull work for him? I don't think it does. Let's find out. But he's expecting to lose in a turn or two because of Luna's skull. So yeah, start again. And both players have drawn just no card draw between them. Not a single card draw card, which is...
Alright, this just got weird.
Yeah. Whoever draws something that draws something probably just wins this game now. But we need to keep an eye on Luna's health total because she's actually just taking damage.
I bet you can do this.
Yeah, I think that's how she felt about it as well. It's like, I don't want to die to some stupid 2.5 card combo.
Yeah.
So she's got the combo.
The first person to just draw a skull from their deck is incredibly favored at this point, and No Hands has 2 of them.
He has used 2 Spectral Sights already, though, but Luna has used a skull.
So it's basically even.
Pretty close, isn't it? Yeah, she's got less. She's got more draw, but less good draw.
Yeah.
But you'll take the bad draw right now. Neither of them can pick up even a... You just want a Chaos Strike. Just get me to my cards. What we need is somebody to fill up their hand and then the other player to glide again. Yep, that's a card draw. Just plop it on the table.
Yep.
We hunger for vengeance.
Card draw. Boom.
Chaos Strike! Hooray! Like, not a card. This is... I don't know. There are other card games that sometimes play like this when you're looking for certain pieces. frustrating for both players.
Yeah. Problem is, No Hands is effectively an Il'gynoth away.
Yeah. But Luna is also only a damage
An
card.
Il'gynoth plus an additional damage card. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, she's on 30, which might be relevant, as opposed to 21. It's actually a number that might matter.
Yeah, No Hands has no discounts.
Right.
Is now using another talented Arcanist, so... Yeah, this is getting weird. Oh, boy.
Luna tries to do the slow clap, but she's just not into the slow claps, I don't think. We'll leave those to Language Hacker.
Demons.
It's not like No Hands is ripping skull after skull. It's like you're both just drawing trash.
No Hands looks like he's incredibly... All right, Skull, there it is.
Skull!
Bada bing, bada boom.
He willed it off the top
That's-
better than Luna did. There's another one?
Is there no cards left? No. Oh, never mind. There's an IB.
Yeah.
And you dump this every time. Skull again.
Yep. And that's probably the end of this game of Hearthstone.
There's Il'gynoth, lethal next turn.
So Luna can still win. Skull would be essential, I think. She has to get an Il'gynoth, she has to get a damage spell. So Spectral Sight could possibly do it as well. I haven't counted, I'm just
She only has
ideas.
one Skull in the deck out of 18. It's gonna be tough.
So Spectral Sight drew damage and Il'gynoth. Would she have the mana? I think she would. Oh, these aren't all reduced, are they? There's only one reduced mana.
There's only one reduced.
Yeah.
Oh!
These into Skull. Stelina!
Our student?
Yeah. You know you're in trouble. Take it. Take your opponent's Il'gynoth out.
The problem is, do you ever win from that point?
Yes, because eventually you draw your Il'gynoth and win, and your opponent probably just fatigues.
Demons.
It just shuffles it back into the deck.
No, but how do they draw more cards? He's just played two... He played his Spectral Sights early on. He's played both Skulls. I think you catch up.
If you shuffle it back, he's got more likely chance to draw it than you do.
Demons.
That's actually probably true.
Time grows short.
We'll just have a little...
And that's if you hit it, because you only get the choice from 3. Oh!
He's hit it. So the game's back on.
Nice. Got ourselves a Hearthstone game once again.
I'm enjoying how indignant both players are being when the draws don't go their way. Like, they're both drawing like rubbish. They're both getting a little bit lucky eventually. And they're both like, oh no, how does this happen only to me? That's what it takes to be a Hearthstone player.
No Hands like, just please let me draw 2 more cards. All right. All right. All right. All right. Still not there. There it is.
And he gets there. And we're back to the exact same situation as last turn, where Luna does have outs. Maybe she can get another Stelina, which will do basically nothing this time.
Time grows short.
Yeah, she's allowed to draw the Skull.
Gotta be a miracle.
Don't think that's enough, but you play it and find out.
Oh, can play both of those.
Yeah. Now she can't even play Il'gynoth, but you keep playing cards just to see what happens. Maybe NoHand's bottom card is Il'gynoth or something? Where, I mean, Luna knows it's over, but she's got to assume that the cards are perfectly stacked in NoHand's deck for her.
I see.
So in a game with a Glide and a Stelina both doing a lot of work, NoHands is going to take this down with a sweep with the OTK Demon Hunter and continue to be the leader of the Americas region ladder.
At least for now.
At least for now.
Still a chance to be caught by Eddie as well as Rami. But this will secure NoHands at least another point, putting him at 17. So Eddie and Rami would both have to have quite good weeks in order to have a chance to catch NoHands. But that was a big matchup, and doing it with OTA Demon Hunter, which I know that NoHands put in a lot of practice with as well. So cool to see that kind of paying off. Add that to his pocket decks, right, with Mage, very high win rate, specialized decks for NoHands. And obviously some of these draws were absolutely filthy. But I mentioned at the beginning of the series that Luna didn't have the de facto answer to OTK Demon Hunter in her lineup, like right Priest with Mindrender or Lucia, for instance, like a hard counter. Had some decent matchups, but if OTK Demon Hunter draws well, there isn't decent matchups.
Right, and it's one of the things I know we've harped on about this a lot, but I think many of us really like Last Hero Standing in among the casters. If on game one, NoHands hadn't made that amazing play against the Warrior, where he realized that he could just get enough tempo combined with enough damage to win the game. In any other format, you don't play that deck again. In this format, he gets a chance to high roll or to draw well in 2 more games. So his good play in game 1 snowballs into games 2 and 3. And so yeah, that reward has come from that good play, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, no, it does make sense. Was rewarded by the Hearthstone Karma Old Gods.